Hi. Can you hear me? I hear feedback. Or did for a second. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat, okay? Let me play a little noise. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, so I can hear myself. So this is a mic thing. Ah! Woo! I'm really close. Hi, guys.
Sorry about that. I thought I fixed it earlier.
I can hear you now.
Hello, welcome, Mary.
Hey. Is it okay if we put it in widescreen? I'm like eating the camera right now.
Okay.
There we go. Holy Toledo. Hi. Now we can see all of each other.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Hey, Tyler. Nice to see you in the chat.
Hey, Tyler. Good to see you. By the way, I caught Tyler most of that documentary you're telling me about, and if you're going to come on, I'm going to totally talk with you about it. But first, we're going to go and talk about the very infamous share screen. Share. Okay, and I'm going to do share screen. The infamous Mary Sue article, which I know. Good old Mary has heard so much about.
Yes. So this is a follow-up article actually to last week's when they said they're doubling down on the furryisms. They're doubling down. And it is kind of funny to me. And so I made this point earlier on toxic femininity that it's kind of weird that it's okay to objectify literally everything and everyone as long as it's not a female, right? Like objectify dead skeletons, right? You can objectify lions, animated lions. You can objectify anthropomorphic foxes. You can objectify cartoon males. You can objectify all of these things. You can't objectify women, period, right? It's so bizarre. It's so absolutely bizarre. Sorry, I'm getting a bajillion notifications right now. And you are muted again. I cannot hear a thing. I do not know what happened.
It keeps, so when it disconnects, it keeps taking me off my mic and putting me on default. Thing.
Weird. That's really weird. Should stay. The settings should stay. And you're muted again. It might happen when you mute yourself. Well, and no, I don't think you're stalking me, Kitty Bear. I don't think that at all. You're absolutely, it's actually wonderful to see you on so many streams. It's actually really wonderful to see the community in all of the different places that you guys show up. I'm happy to see you over on Anthony's stream. I'm happy to see you in Toxic Femininity. I'm happy to see you here with Willie. I'm happy to see you over on my streams. It makes me very happy. So I don't think you're a stalker. I just think we got a tight-knit community and people show up all over the place, and that's wonderful. So Candace! Sad. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're all in the swag. You got a freaking baseball hat. I gotta go back and get more swag.
Yeah, what are you doing? Slowpoke. Get with it.
I just have the one beanie.
You got a tinfoil hat.
I do have a tinfoil hat.
That's pretty cool.
Right now, actually.
Willie, you are muted, my friend. I can't hear you. I like the hat. I like that hat. That hat's better than mine. Hey, don't tell Jeremy. But.
Oh, I'm telling Jeremy. We keep losing our host, but we were talking about the. So he pulled up the Mary Sue article that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, cool.
That we managed to rant on for about.
We're just gonna hijack your stream, Willie. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're pros. We got this.
Lucky for you, we've done this before. We're good.
So no,
we just take a swig of my gigantic, like Texas-sized water here. So big.
All right. I'm hoping you guys can hear me now.
We can hear you now.
Yay!
There you are.
No, the reason I wanted to bring this on was because when I went to school, I went to art school, so I mean I've been around animators and stuff, and it's like
Nice.
animators are that freaky. It's like this is nothing new. This is nothing new for how.
Well, no, you're talking about the same people who who animated Jessica Rabbit to not have any underwear on, right?
Yeah,
When
exactly. It's animators or pervs. It's okay, and it's just
But-
kind of like all of them. Doesn't matter what gender, race, anything. They're all pervs
think
because
just
they're all
people in
having to be
general are
stuck
pervs.
in a room working on stuff for long
Mary
hours
Sue
of
writers
time.
are pervs too. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
pervs in this world right now.
Exactly.
Well, everybody's getting in touch with their inner freak, right? I think.
Yeah.
And so it's because
People are going stir crazy,
But you have
and
to
it's
recognize-
it's resulting in weird acknowledgments about themselves.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I have no. They're all turning into like pervy people like me. That's all I gotta say. They're all.
Well, no, look, I do think it's important to acknowledge that when the animators drew Scar from The Lion King, they weren't sitting there trying to figure out who would fantasize about this character, right?
Well,
That wasn't something that I can't imagine they had that in mind, right?
well, okay. So here's the thing: is that the mindset you gotta understand is that they're with these characters like 10 or 12 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week.
Mhm.
And so not only taking aside the aesthetic part of them trying to make pleasing, aesthetically pleasing characters, it's like you tend to kind of get a little stir crazy with them anyway. So it's like they may not consciously think about
It's a
it.
control thing too.
What?
It's a control thing, I bet too, because you have total control over this drawing, and it's.
Well,
I can see some people kind of like.
You know what? Yes
know,
and no. Yes and
for a
no.
little
'Cause
bit.
in theory, yes. In theory, yes. But so in the industry, they have these things called time. You have a timing director who's basically and you have what they call a dope sheet. And that's basically that maps out every frame of action. So you basically, it's like someone else times out the action. And so you kind of don't, but then you kind of like, that's why I liked animation, because I'm a control freak, but but in the industry, not so much.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm literally losing. I feel my body heat being sucked out of my feet as we speak because I don't have socks on. So I'm gonna go grab some socks. I'm getting cold. I'm getting really cold right now.
You're getting cold feet on the stream? Is that what you're trying to say? Just getting cold feet on the stream.
It's my animal magnetism.
Shame of it
What
all.
can I say?
That's
Be
fine.
right
You go get you some fuzzy socks, girl.
The
Not furry socks, fuzzy
the
socks.
fuzzy
You heard me.
Socks. I make no promises.
But that's why I wanted to cover it, because it's like aside from getting your lady's opinion, it was just kind of like that whole looking at it from that kind of the animator standpoint. It's kind of like, well, yeah, they probably do. they probably do, but it's not so. Yes, Kitty. So yeah, it's kind of there's a little bit of it's a little bit of they. It's like, yeah, they're a bunch of freaks. Animators, video game developers too, because that's the same deal. They're a bunch of freaks. They are.
Nice.
That's
good to know.
Yeah. What's funny?
So like all the people that created like Banjo Kazooie and stuff, they're like all this, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like Donkey Kong Country.
They're all a bunch of fucking
That's
weirdos.
rare. Yeah.
I'll tell you this: when I went to school, it was a art and culinary. It was like an art, film, fashion, and culinary school. And so like you'd have like usually like people who used to be ex-military or who were from like rough streets, they'd end up more being culinary people. And so you have these like hard guys being like, man, I'm around a bunch of fucking nerds. And it's like they were like it was like the roles were reversed. They were around all these nerds and they're like, it's like, holy crap, I can't talk about sports. It's like, fuck, man. All they want to do is talk about anime.
See, that's the thing. So anime, there's like a huge crop of people that are into that sort of thing.
Yes.
Like like hentai. Can I even say that? I'm sorry
you
if
can
I
say
just
hentai.
I don't know.
I'm not monetized.
Okay. So like hentai is a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that can be a thing, and that's like, I don't want to say it's approved upon, but like it's
In Japanese culture, it is approved
popular
upon.
enough. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
popular enough that
it's
people are
literally
like,
on the sides of the streets when you walk down through Japan. They literally have racks of it on the side of the street.
so if that is something that's okay, the like Americanized or westernized, I should say, version of cartoons being looked like that. I'm not saying the animal ones. I'm saying like ones that are like people.
Yeah,
is
like
that
heavy metal. Yeah.
that can't be that can't you got it should be the same sort of thing, right? You can't be like okay with one without the other. They're both cartoons, if we're being honest.
No,
right?
you're and that is the hypocrisy of it all. I will tell you this.
They like purposefully sexualize
Oh
anime.
yeah. And like, well, okay, so here's a good example of an anime where it's like women are actually the real pervy ones. It's called Black Butler. And there are many
I've only seen, I don't know anime. I've only seen Avatar, and that was definitely not sexualized.
No. That's not really no.
Okay. That's the closest I know.
Okay, but
well, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z.
Avatar's not anime.
they make fun of the fact that they put the two main characters. One is like a young teen guy and a butler man into these very sexually suggestive things, and it's supposed to be what they call fan service, and it's like that. The whole joke is to basically make women, make the girl anime fans crazy over the homoeroticism of it. So it's like, yeah, that's why the Mary Sue is a bunch of fucking hypocrites, and I would say that to them to their face.
As you should.
Yeah. It is. It's very. Yeah. It's like when you look at like it's like when
they're not cultured. Just say that they're not cultured.
They're too busy looking at lion butts.
Well, I'll say this: is if you ever get that argument from someone on like Twitter or anything like that about like how men sexualize, like, oh, you just want to fap to She-Ra or something like that. Bring up anime, like just bring up anime, and it's like how much women want to fap to those characters, like even body pillow covers of male characters. Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, and you'll win the argument. They can't. You'll win the argument hands down.
I actually exclusively, if I'm going to watch something, in terms of it's pornographic in nature, it's always animated. Like that's just, and it's usually anime. Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice and not say not out.
Yeah, I've already gone into enough of my personal life with liking Max from the Goofy show. I think that's enough for me.
Okay. Today about
I will
Mary.
say this.
I'm not saying that's fappable, but I'm saying I had a thing.
I will say this: 3-year-old Willie has always had the hots for Princess Leia in Slave Gear and the Baroness from G.I. Joe. And to this very day, I'm like, yes, I'm a sucker for that. Unfortunately, I cannot get my girlfriend to dress up as any of those. But yes.
One
keep
day.
hoping Andrew will ask me to dress up in something.
Well, my girlfriend says, like, oh, I wanted you to go play Dungeons and Dragons so you can get better at role playing. So then we could so we can eventually move that to the bedroom. And it's like, I suck bad.
Y'all have to have a day where you just do one does one for one, and then the other does something for them, and you just like,
yeah,
it's like, we'll do that. You have to break out of your comfort zone, and then she does too.
Yeah, start off simple with like some dice or something and work your way into it.
There you go. But
it takes a lot of people years and years to get comfortable with that kind of thing, because it's such a intimate. It's like it's beyond just like the regular stuff. You're like going deeper into like intimacy, because if it's like a thing. It's a thing that's unique to you, and so I give her time.
That's fine. I mean, I'm a massive slut, so I admit that I'm very much. Like I understand why I'm kind of like the role playing thing. I just kind of it feels weird, but outside of that, I know I'm more comfortable because I'm a massive slut.
It's cool if you like it. Some
Yeah,
people
I
are
know.
boring
She's
and don't do
not,
anything.
so it's like that makes sense why she's not all that all that cool with it.
It's a conquest for you. That's what it is.
Oh
It's a
no,
conquest.
it's a fix. It's a fix. It's
Yeah,
a fix.
it's nice.
But no. But no, all right. You know what? Since my rest of my okay, so here is something I wanted to cover too. So I'm gonna I'm gonna do the share screen thing. So basically, this is what's kind of weird. Most hold on. Okay, here you go. So most YouTubers like that are Phantom Menace adjacent or in the Fandom Menace, they don't often cover film rumors. But I noticed apparently Lethal Lightning, and I noticed apparently Mara, and I know Clownfish TV was covering this rumor. And so basically, they're saying is that the short here I'll go. I'll just show you this, and then I'll just break it down slowly. I mean, not break it
I
down.
only have about 10 more minutes, sugar. So
Oh,
sorry,
you know
no, I promised I was going to go slaughter some 12-year-olds on Fortnite with Andrew tonight. So because he has
no worries.
And I'm
No worries.
hungry. I just need to eat because I'm pregnant and I haven't had dinner yet. That's
Oh,
all.
no. Okay.
But I will. I want to hear this article and then I'm gonna scoop. So
Okay.
give me a heads up.
Okay. So yeah, all right, then just drop out anytime.
You're sweet.
Here, hold on, I want to just put this. Feel free anytime. I can probably out Willie joke you. I'm just saying, I've had years of practice. So anyway, in this article, what they were saying was that according to several disgruntled Disney employees who were fired, and from basically reading the tea leaves, what they're saying is that they're going to kick Chadwick Boseman out of Black Panther and replace him. Oh, hi, Caffeinated Wolf. Hi, Tyler. They're going to replace him with Namor, and they were going to basically sort of race swap Namor to being more sub-Saharan.
Oh, I see this. Yeah.
And so basically,
I'm not seeing what article you're talking about.
Oh, here, I'll link it to you in the private chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. We can.
So basically, well, what's funny is that I notice a lot of the people. So
here, I'll post it for you if you want.
There you go. I've written that.
I'll share. Well, I was going to share screen so I could pull it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got it for you.
I know I shared screen, but it's kind of hard to.
Just click on me.
Okay,
I got it there.
Here you go. So yeah, so basically, what they were outlining that, and they were outlining their plans for Marvel in like Phase 5 and how they were going to introduce the Fantastic Four as an already established people. They're like they were always just in the MCU, and they're going to have Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman are already going to be married, and then they're going to have their kid Franklin. And apparently Franklin is going to be a bastard from basically Invisible Woman having an affair with Namor. And
wow.
And basically they're going to, and when they introduce the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants, they're going to have very few people. It's just mainly going to be Xavier and Magneto, and they're going to be people of a different, they're not going to be white people, but they're not necessarily going to be black. And they are going to fight over having Franklin Richards on their team.
Wow, he's lost weight.
Yeah.
Mary, have you seen his picture?
No, I haven't.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Sorry about my ad. I need to like fix it.
No, you're cool.
I can't like get that to turn off.
That's
I don't know why.
Terrifying, actually. I'm not sure I understand though. Why would you replace a legitimately African American character with someone
Oh
who's
my god,
race bent?
Well, okay, so there was a while, like I think last year, there was a rumor that Chadwick Boseman was mad at Marvel because they were trying to edge him out and replace him with the lady who played Shuri, which kind of also makes sense because they were trying to shoehorn her into the comics as well.
Is it because he's not? Is it because he's a man? Is that why? Is that why we're doing this?
Yeah. So and I'll be honest, it's like the whole thing with let me see, I'm trying to remember all the stuff there. So apparently they're not going to have the guy from The Office and his wife play Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, but they're going to try to have someone younger. I don't know. And I think that was all the pertinent stuff of it. But so, but the thing is that
it said it'll lead to Sue Storm becoming pregnant with Franklin Richards, but the twist is that Franklin is Namor's son through an affair she had while she's still married.
Right.
This is like a friggin' soap opera. Like all my children.
Days of our lives.
Days of our lives of all my children. What is this?
I don't understand. Why are we becoming so soap opera-ish? I liked Black Panther. It was good. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I know. I was like, why change it up? I liked
this seems really far.
The recipe was good. Why switch it up?
No, I don't think
it had all the right ingredients.
I agree. And it's they're stupid risks. That's why that's why I have a hard time while there's certain things that have been floating around. For example, the thing of that Kevin Feige wanted to make Professor X and Magneto either black or another ethnicity. It's like that came out around I think it's earlier this year. It's like that makes sense and it feeds into the rumor. But on the other hand, it's not.
This isn't a thing. I don't think. This is a thing.
My gut tells me no.
I think anybody with any common sense knows no.
Well, no, but the thing is, though, is they're saying the reason why this rumor got out was people who were let go from Disney was like, screw them, and they spoiled it.
When were they supposed to start pre-production on Black Panther 2?
No, they're currently in pre-production of Black Panther 2. Their filming date, I have not. They're not,
because I feel like that would answer some of this, because if we see who's currently involved, you can kind of like, right?
Yeah, well, they are starting pre-production. I know that for sure. They're not filming.
Has Chadwick Boseman not been signed on?
He has been signed on. He has one more film. Actually,
is that a doctored photo?
That photo of him?
Yeah.
No, that's him.
That's
him. His Instagram. He posted it.
Yeah.
I know. He looked like he went on that diet. That whatever. I was gonna say something bad, but I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Really I was gonna say he's starting to remind me of the hijacker from because you know how like gaunt in the face.
Yeah.
The hijacker from that Tom Hanks movie. What is it called? He was such an amazing actor.
One.
Yeah, like he was like a taxi driver, and he was never an actor before. That's an amazing story, by the way, for another stream. But he was, I mean, like he was so good in that role. But he was so gaunt in the face and so believable. And I feel like he's like Chadwick is like, where's the cheeks, Chadwick?
Well,
where'd they go?
So the funny thing is too is that before he was filming with Black Panther, he had to really bulk up. In order for it to, so that's why it's like the fact that he's kind of anorexic. It's like he's getting
it's all in the face too, which is usually that's like the last place you lose.
He can bulk up, But I looked it up. Black Panther 2 has no filming date set yet. So I mean, it's all pretty much they're all working on the script.
They don't honestly. I don't think they have too much of a solid clue on what they're doing after this. They're still sorting things out, and so I think we're not likely to get. That's one of the reasons why I doubt this is because I don't think that they even have a solid grip on what it is that they're going to be doing moving much forward past this. And so I think it's a wait and see thing. I think it's just
right. No, you're absolutely right. But to my knowledge, though, is that Chadwick Boseman's not out, but he does have one more film in his contract. and I
Right.
don't think Disney is
They're gonna
going
have to
pick him.
CGI him at this point if he doesn't bulk up again.
Oh
Because my
no,
God.
do you know like Christian Bale freaking bulked up like in like 2 or 3 months time from The Machinist, like how scrawny he was in The Machinist to Batman Begins. It was like he got super fat
Okay.
in like about 3 months time, and then I think in about another 3 months time he got like super ripped for her pleasure at that, you know, as Bruce Wayne.
On that note, I'm actually going to have to scoot.
But it was great. It was great seeing you, and
Thanks so much.
thank you for coming.
Of course. Thanks so much for inviting me. And I try to pop by whenever I can. So
No, I understand.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on your channel more than I'm on my own right now.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, Willie. And I'll see you, all right?
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mary. And I'm gonna go in a couple minutes, so we'll
Okay,
talk a little bit more about
you
this.
know what, to be honest, that was pretty much it, because the next thing I had lined up was if Tyler was going to be here, because he suggested I watch a documentary, and I was about an animator.
And the steroids.
Yeah. About an animator named Floyd Norman. It's called the documentary was called "The Animated Life" by Floyd Loim. I'll show you in a second. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I am so not the person to be able to comment on any of that kind of stuff.
No,
so.
I know. That's why.
Is Tyler in the green room? Is he coming in?
No, he couldn't make it.
Oh,
so that's why I was gonna. That was the only other thing I planned out. I had really, I had trouble trying to find stuff to plan to talk to you guys.
It's tough these days. It's tough. I mean, we built a show around some really random articles today.
Yeah.
Those were the cream of the crop too. We should have seen the ones we didn't pick.
What's kind of frustrating is like I'm finding like the stuff that I'm finding for videos there, because I made a video where I went over some rumors, like film rumors. There's on my channel. Oh, there's Tyler there. Hello, Tyler.
I'm on.
There was one rumor where it was basically is like one of my videos was like a rumor about Silver Surfer being in the new Thor movie, which Taika Waititi confirmed he's not. But I mean, it's like trying to find like stuff to kind of talk about that's not like, oh, well, it's from 4chan and from Reddit, so we can't really prove anything.
Yeah.
It's like no one. It's like there's hard like.
We feel it with the we got this covered. Like we're like, oh, the clickbait on that article, that title, man. Whew, that would be cool if it was real, but a lot of times it's not quite. It doesn't quite hit
exactly. Because like
doesn't make the snip test.
Because there was I found several things of like several potential plot leaks for superhero movies coming out, but it's like I can't really do much to verify whether it's true or not, because it's from Reddit, and since everything's on pause, it's like I can't do much more than that. So I don't know. It's
true.
I feel the pain. But on that note, I'm going to head out and eat something because I'm starving right now.
Bye.
And I am no good on this kind of subject, but I am going to keep listening in, and
Take
I'll keep watching those. So thanks for inviting me.
No, thank you. It's good to see you, and I'm glad to see you're healthy.
And me too.
Both healthy.
Thank you for checking up on me. You've been so sweet. Thank you very much. Yeah.
See ya.
All right. You guys have a great night.
Bye. Bye. So I wanted to talk to so for reference, Tyler recommended me this documentary, which I'm going to try and do a share screen, and it was of this movie, Floyd Norman Animated Life. And it was really, really good. It was actually pretty good. I didn't get a chance to finish it yet, but it was really good. And it was basically about the history. So Floyd Norman was the first black animator who worked for Disney. And I'm sorry, I was looking at something in the chat. It's like, and um, he was working on a lot of movies. Like he worked on a lot of like in Sleeping Beauty. He worked on 101 Dalmatians, and he basically, when he was forced to retire, he just kept coming in. Like he could never go away. He just kept like just doodling and kept kind of just being a part of Disney even after his retirement. And it was just it was an interesting documentary, and I just wanted to talk to you about talk with Tyler about it.
Yeah. I heard about this a couple years back because of another YouTube guy I'm friends with. They did a list of like good animated documentaries. This was number 10 on the list. It premiered, I think, on TCM last night, so it's the first time I ever saw it. So I really liked it.
Yeah. What was really impressive was just basically how much is when you take a look at it, when you look through if you ever get a chance to look at the documentary, guys, it's pretty impressive on how fluid he would work with the, like work in the drawing. And also too, it's like when all throughout the documentary through the get-go was like, yeah, you know what? He had to put up with a lot of shit. And just like everyone else. And he got, and he basically got his job purely on talent. And,
yep.
It was like they're going through how the anime, how Disney was at that time. And it was very much do not sorry. It's a really good documentary, and I just wanted to talk about it. Dude, yes. My girlfriend, Kitty Bear, my girlfriend watches that movie too. It's like every night before we go to bed, she's like, "Don't free Willie. Don't free Willie." So no, I've seen that movie. It's kind of disappointing. Anyway, so
I prefer the director's cut where he gets killed by the whale.
Oh yeah, where like the whale just plops on the fucking kid. Oh, that was
yeah.
What sucks was like when I was growing up in elementary school, that when that movie was coming out, everybody would be like, "Oh, Free Willy," and it wasn't because I was fat; it was just because my name was Willie. And it was like when I watched the movie, I'm like, "Man, this movie fucking sucks." It's like I hate these guys even more for calling me Free Willy. It's like at least
honestly,
it's like at least make fun of me. Oh, yeah. It's like at least make. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The best part of that movie is the fact that the dad's played by Michael Madsen. It's the one role where he's not casually murdering everyone, so everyone assumes he's a serial killer or something.
Yeah. So it's like Willy Wonka was another name I got made fun of a lot too. And it's like I saw that movie in my 20s and I was like, all right, that one was fine. It's like,
yeah, but he's cool.
Creepy ass Willy Wonka, that's fine. Fucking like annoyingly cute whale. It's like, no, I want some tuna and I want it in there.
Don't watch the sequels.
Oh god! Oh man, how many? They made like not a ton, not like a Land Before Time amount of sequels. But
I think there's 3 sequels.
Yeah, they made a. Yeah, okay. It's like they made a lot, and I was like, who was watching this shit?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch Free Willy 3, Free Willy.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is like, how many times is that fucking whale gonna get caught? Like, son of a bitch, just let the thing die.
Yeah, Free Willy 20 gets freer.
It's like Free Willy 20. He's about to be in a canning. He's about to be whaled by a Japanese freighter.
No, that was Free Willy 15. 16, okay. It's gonna be a California whaler.
Yeah. Oh man, that is I really hate how in a lot of movies they try to like they try to make you overly like they try to manipulate you by like, look at this animal, see how cute this animal is, isn't that sad that this animal is like doing cute stuff. It's like, fucking hell, dude.
It's a very 90s cliche.
I know. Well, the funny thing is it's not so much 90s because like I was watching A Dog's Purpose. I saw Dog's Purpose in theaters, and I will admit, granted, that movie did manipulate the crap out of me, but it's like that. But it was like, yeah, that movie manipulated the crap out of me. I was like bawling, but it was like they did the same thing too. And I just, I just can't stand it. You know, so you were kind of hanging out in the chat earlier. Was there any of the stuff that I covered earlier that you wanted to talk about?
Let me think about it for a moment.
Okay.
It's a good documentary, though.
No, yeah, it is a very good documentary. I think I got like either 40 minutes or like an hour into it. But yeah. But yeah, it is, and I recommend it to you guys. I didn't really search for it on YouTube too hard. I rented it from Google Play, but
it's on Netflix, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, might be on there. I don't know.
I will mention the best part is the fact that he kept getting repeatedly fired.
Just motherfucker wouldn't stay away.
Yeah, it reminded me so much of when Milhouse's dad got fired. It's like, so why is this so long and good luck? It's like, I don't remember saying good luck. And then he'd just be back a few years later anyway doing something else.
Mm.
It's endearing.
It isn't. That's the sad part. It is very endearing that he's like keeps getting fired, and because like he left for to serve in the Korean War, and then he came back, and then he's just like he kept like leaving and coming back, and it's like it's like, you know, there's other animation studios, dude.
Yeah, but none of them were as prestigious at the time. Like what
True.
Warner Brothers was just cartoons.
That's true. Well, I mean, like that's what's funny. It's like even in like in this, it's like in this day, I have a classmate of mine. She went to Pixar and stuff, and it's like, and it's like that's the big thing. It used to be like, oh, you went to Disney, you can work anywhere you want. Now it's like, if you worked at Pixar, now you can work anywhere you want.
Oh yeah, pretty much. It's if you went to Disney or Pixar and you left, everyone's like, "Come on over here, man. We need your help. You're great because we know you were there."
Mm-hmm. I know you could have been like the renderer's fluffer or whatever, but as long as you worked in Pixar, you're fine.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's kind of well, and it's like really hard to get in there too. I knew a filmmaker friend of mine. He was like really talented filmmaker, but it's like he applied for Pixar and he got rejected, and he was like, yeah, no, it's okay. It's like usually most people don't get in on their first time for applying. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, okay. Isn't that usually the part where you'd be like, okay, yeah, they just don't want me, so I'll just go somewhere else.
I'm pretty sure that a couple notable Pixar people actually didn't even get in the door the first time around.
Yeah, I heard that's very common. They don't get first time around. They get it like third or fourth or something.
Something like that. I think it took like 2 tries for Lazar to even get into Disney.
Yeah.
Before he also got booted because, you can't make CGI movies in the 80s? Get out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that time, you couldn't really, at best you could either do vector graphics, which was just a bunch of freaking lines, or you can or just like have some really shitty type stuff, like in Young Sherlock Holmes.
which I believe was done by Pixar at the time.
Yep.
Or at least what would become Pixar.
No, you're right. Yeah, it was dumb. Yeah, because that. So basically, the story was that that was at the time when it was working under as a division under Lucasfilm, and Lucas decided to build that division after Howard the Duck because he got so pissed off with the costume, with the costume.
He really got ducked.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah. I'll be honest though. I don't care what people say. I actually love that movie a lot. It's and it's like when I read the comics like years later, like in my 20s and stuff, and I was reading it and I was like, this is not that much. This is not that different from Gerber's work. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, what is everybody complaining about?
You're close to the material. It's just simply the outfit was speaks for itself.
I'll be honest though, it's like I figured Guardians of the Galaxy would have tanked because of like it was like, and it's like if you asked me before that movie came out, like how well that movie would do, I'd say like I'd cite Howard the Duck as an example of why that movie would tank.
Yeah, and ironically now he shows up in those films. Everyone's like, I can't wait for the next cameo of Howard the Duck.
Yep. Well, yeah. But where was I? Oh yeah. So.
Oh, you're talking about how Lazar got fired all the time, but I love the story of how he got fired. Where it was like, here's this CGI version of Where the Wild Things Are. What do you think, guys? And they're like, we don't like it. And then 5 minutes later, like, we want to see you in your office. Get out. Like that's it. It's one bad screening and then fired.
I'll be honest. I'm like, way I always see it is, I would not want to work for like Pixar or like LucasArts. Well, LucasArts is no more, but I mean like, ILM or something like that, because it's just, it's like, you could so quickly get fired that it's just kind of like, yeah, you could probably go your own way.
Well, I best I can do is stick figure, so of course that's a pipe dream. But if I had the chance, I probably wouldn't do it either. No.
Nah, I'm a lousy artist. I just do cartoonist. I do cartoonist stuff. I hate doing like fine art crap, and so I immediately have no interest. I'm immediately kind of like just turned down. I don't have the skill. I know many people who are more talented than myself.
Yeah, like I just got a commissioned piece of art for like my character on Red Dead Redemption. This freaking lady's like almost like a full-on painting. Like this lady's amazingly talented. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I can do stick figures and that's it. You can do almost like a Monet style painting of my character. Wow.
I get pissed off. Well, not pissed off, but I get floored because when I met my girlfriend in art school, is like her first 3D model she ever made was an accurate to the T Batman 1989 Batmobile because she knew I liked it. And
really,
it was like, oh, yeah. And all she did was just study the shit out of it.
Oh, by the way, I just sent you on Messenger what the lady drew.
Oh, oh shit, that's nice.
Yeah, she freaking painted that.
Damn, dude. I'm trying to figure out a way to save it so I can put it. Well, oh, you know what? Duh, I got the screen share.
Oh, yeah, right. But yeah, it's like that. Like, I know how to respect and I know what good art looks like, but Lord, I cannot do it myself.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a nice and big for the rest of chat. It's well, I found in my experience that. Oh, hey, Tom's here.
Oh, hey.
I found in my experience, it's like once you kind of understand the certain things of, like, for example, human anatomy, once you understand the basics of it, you can kind of go almost anywhere you want, and you'll be fine.
I guess I failed biology then.
Well, I mean, it's well, I mean, like the biology thing, it's like, oh, okay, well, like a person is about 5 to 8 heads tall. And it's like, okay, you have like 1 head for your shoulder, 2 for the chest, 2 for oh, sorry, kitty bear. I'm sorry about that. I had his face stuck on the screen. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's like, like things like that, and you can find them. You can find all sorts of things that kind of explain that stuff, like even on Pinterest.
Oh yeah, I check Pinterest all the time for that sort of stuff. Which reminds me, there was a really good breakdown, I think, in one of the documentaries for Aladdin, where it was just like one of the animators said, "Oh, this is the modeling we had for the characters," and they're all like, "This character's shaped like a pear. This one's based on pottery." It was really interesting. Like, okay, I see.
Yeah, that's they do that for when they do ensemble casts to try and kind of differentiate them out. But hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Doing
Pretty good.
all right. So what you missed was we were Tyler and I were talking about a documentary about an animator named Lloyd
Norman.
Thank you, Lloyd Norman. It's called Lloyd Norman Animated Life. We were talking about that, and I was talking with the ladies, Geeky Candy, and Mary Mayhem. Tom came looking for.
Well, don't we all?
We were talking about. So there was this article from Cosmic Book News that a few YouTubers surprisingly covered about it, and it was the rumor about how Chadwick Boseman is out as Black Panther, and he's being replaced by a race swapped Namor, and how the Fantastic Four, they're going to introduce them, and Franklin Richards is going to be the love child of Invisible Woman and Namor, and the X-Men are going to fight over Franklin Richards, but they're just going to be like 1 or 2 members of the X-Men and Magneto, and then like 1 or 2 members of the X-Men and Professor X. And and they're going to be race swapped as well, Professor X and Magneto. And the reason why people were really taking this seriously is it apparently came from a disgruntled Disney employee.
Yeah, I heard all this business. I don't know really what to believe or not. Because a lot of it goes against a lot of stuff I've heard before. Some of it is stuff we have heard before. So it could be a mix of both. It could be somebody just trying to stir some crap.
Yeah. Well, what I was telling the ladies was that, okay, some of the stuff kind of does check out, because, okay, Chadwick Boseman did have some, he was mad at Feige because they were trying to push him out for Shuri, just like kind of how they did in the comics. And okay, they're talking about how they were going to race swap Magneto and Professor X. So, I mean, there's some of it that does come with it, but to be honest, I don't think it's true. I really don't. It's not. There's way too many departures to where I don't think fans would really be okay with.
Right. I mean, the only one that I've heard that may be kind of true, besides, like, you said, though, I knew we all been hearing about, they were talking about making the sister of Black Panther, the new Black Panther or whatever, excuse me, and stuff like that. But Like, for instance, the whole race swapping of Professor X and Magneto, that's been another one that's gone around for a little while.
Mhm.
And that one would make sense if you have to time up the characters, because we've talked about this a couple times on a few podcasts, but like I've noticed, like sooner or later, some of these franchises, as far as comic books that are set in like realistic time frames, you're going to have to age up the characters at some point. And since Professor X and Magneto are loosely based on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, it would make sense if you wanted to race swap them and make them parallels in that universe to those two. And that I wouldn't have a problem with, because like I saw the picture of Denzel Washington as Magneto, and I'm like, you put him up against like Lawrence Fishburne as Professor X, and now we're talking. And there's other things like we talked about earlier on one of the podcasts too, about having like Magneto come from South Africa during the apartheid time, and then having, Professor X be in America during the civil rights movement. So they both have a little bit different perspective on government control and how to view regular humans and stuff, just like the original Professor X and Magneto did in their versions as well. Yeah. But again, at the same time, unless you're going to set them in a time period, I don't know what else you're going to do. But some of the other stuff just sounds too crazy to be real. I mean, the Fantastic Four business, I don't know about that and all the other stuff. Yeah.
So the Fantastic Four thing, it's like I've heard some rumors. I've heard some things of how they're going to try and explain the Fantastic Four, but you can't just like plop them in there and be, all the
rumors I've heard have been that they're going to have the movie. It's going to be kind of like Captain America. It'll start out in the 60s. We'll have a young Hank Pym probably, and then they'll like get trapped somewhere or zap themselves into the future somehow and get to now, and that's going to explain a lot of things as far as like, and then you'll also be able to have a little campier 60s time period for the earlier parts of the movie and stuff.
That's what I've heard possible. Too. And I heard they're going to do like a backdoor pilot with them, kind of like what they do with Spider-Man and Black Panther.
You never know. That's what I kind of figured that's how they were going to introduce a lot of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because I told a lot of people don't expect a full-on true X-Men movie for like probably another 5 to 10 years, and they're like 10 years. I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, don't be surprised if they start sprinkling in X-Men characters, like Storm shows up in Black Panther 2, and Beast might show up in whatever, just like different characters start showing up here and there, and they just start getting used to the idea that mutants exist in this world, or the mutants exist now because of whatever reason. Some people have brought up the snap, people coming back from the snap, but I'm like, no, they just have to be there like they did in the original X-Men movies, but it isn't until, the events that happen in the first X-Men that bring them out of the woodwork. You just need a similar event here, basically. I mean, they could always tie the X-Men back to the 60s with the Fantastic Four, and then they just hit a moment where, like, they all decide whatever the small group of mutants, kind of like in First Class, they don't have that many mutants in that movie. Maybe after that, and they're still under wraps kind of by the government. Maybe the government's just like, you don't exist. End of discussion. Well, and then like for 20, 30 years, they don't really talk about them. Yeah.
Well, see, what I can do you even one better. What you could easily do is that, in that whole multiverse of madness thing, is that you basically, at the end of that movie, you change time to where it's like, oh, mutants have been there for a while. Oh, Fantastic Four kind of has been there for a while. And you can kind of just flip it like small change, like, oh, small changes within the time in the time stream.
Yeah. Oh, well, also it might take 10 years for new mutants to come out. So yeah, that makes sense.
I know, and it's like, to be honest, I was actually looking forward to seeing that movie.
I wasn't, but I'm just fascinated now by the train wreck it is.
I mean, I knew nothing was going to come of it after the whole. I mean, it's just going to be a one and done, all for fun. I don't know why they just don't release it on Hulu and get it over with.
Yeah. I agree. Well,
this is like Amityville 7 just keeps getting delayed again and again.
They still haven't released that yet. The one that Tom McLaughlin did the music video for and shit.
I think that came out on Amazon Prime for like $5.
Oh, really?
Oh, so this is another one?
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh, there's
buried
so
that
many different.
shit.
Here's the other problem with Amityville. Since Amityville itself can't be copyrighted, there's a ton of movies that have Amityville in the title that have no connection whatsoever to the actual Amityville franchise.
Right.
So keep that in mind too.
No, that is true. I mean, it's the
There's like
same.
the Amityville Haunting, the Amityville Murders, and some.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these different ones out there that
Yeah. So I mean that was basically the I had the
Okay,
three
never mind. It
things-
was called The Awakening, and it was the 10th movie in the series. Oh, excuse me,
Jesus
I couldn't remember which
Christ.
one. And had Jennifer Jason Leigh.
So Tom, that was
Wow.
pretty much it. Was just gonna cover the Mary Sue article that and talking about the documentary. So you haven't missed. I mean, you haven't missed much. I basically stole from you with the Mary Sue article.
Oh, that thing is gold. Well, that comes off the one from last week anyway.
Yeah, I know.
The whole it does Robin Hood confuse your genitals business. Oh, geez.
Well, what I was telling the ladies about was the fact is the thing I was bringing to the table that was new is that, well, you know what, animators, they're kind of freaks. they're kind of weird people, and so it's kind of,
Do I need to remind you that one time an animator put a naked lady in the background of The Rescuers because
Oh,
he was
yeah.
probably bored?
or the penis on the original Little Mermaid poster.
Oh yeah, the one that he claimed was like, I did 24-hour overnight. I didn't notice.
Yeah, but it was basically that was so I mean that was the only thing I brought to the table was the fact that, you know what, maybe there's a little bit of that weirdness, you know, there's that weirdness that, you know, animators or people who have like real affinity, you know, who are, you know, the artistic-y people who in the animation, they're kind of freaks.
Amusingly, I think that they mentioned Robin Hood briefly in the animated documentary, of which the guy says, "Yeah, that movie sucks."
Yeah.
I actually like that movie, but yeah.
I don't hate it, but it has a lot of reused animation. It was kind of a little bit of a rush job.
Yeah, I'll be honest. In terms of, because I'm a huge Robin Hood fan, and I kind of like the fact that it was one of the very few pop culture things of Robin Hood that had Alan Adale, because I liked Alan Adale in the story. I know that's like so, but yeah, because you never because you never find in Robin Hood, you never find basically the 6 main characters all together, which is Robin Hood, Friar Tuck, Little John, Will Scarlet, Alan Adale, and Maid Marian. You'll never find all 6 of them there.
You know, you're actually right. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Why didn't that terrible movie from like 3 years ago do that? That would have been at least an interesting take.
I know. Well, you mean the one with the guy from the Kingsman?
Yeah, I was talking about the guy from Sons of Anarchy, dude.
Oh, that was King Arthur.
God damn it! You could have fooled me.
No, it was. I'll be honest. I saw that movie. It was okay. It was not that bad, but it was not that great either. But it was.
Wasn't there a Robin Hood movie that came out like around that time too? Though I swear there was.
No, it
something
came
like
out last year or two ago, where it had like Jamie Foxx was Little John, and it was like he was like, "Call me Little John because you can't pronounce my name." And
his name Achu?
Will Scarlet wasn't a part of Robin Hood's Merry Men. He was. That movie was. There was certain things about it where it was kind of cool how they tried to spice up. How they tried to spice up the movie by making like Gatling arrows and stuff like that, and making like things that look like modern military armor, but is.
Then why don't you just set it in modern times?
Yeah, it was, yeah, but I mean, it was like they're making like medievally looking.
So it's a steampunk movie.
No. But
I've not seen it, but I knew it was not exactly well received.
I can say this. I can say this with all certainty. That movie, though, was not nearly as horrible looking as the Russell Crowe one. Because I saw like even the trailer of the Russell Crowe one, and I'm like, nope.
Oh god, I saw that movie because I'm a big Cate Blanchett fan. Even that one did, and Christ, that one was terrible. That one was awful.
Yeah. There's the best I think the best version, the best thing of Robin Hood I've seen is in 2007, BBC had a TV series, and it had Richard Armitage as a Guy of Gisborne. Man, he was fucking sinister as shit in that show, and it had I forget, it was called Robin Hood, and it lasted like 3 seasons, but the 3rd season kind of was like it was limped on in that 3rd season, but the first 2 were pretty cool. I forget who the actor who played Sheriff of Nottingham was, but he was pretty good. He was this British comedian who, and he always had this like running gag of oh great, now I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, it was very good. It's it's very good, guys.
And for me, the best version will always be the original Errol Flynn, Millie de Havilland version.
You know what? I don't. No, I have no. Actually, I take that back. I have seen that. I was gonna say I didn't, because that was the one where Claude Rains was Prince John, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that one. Yeah, that one was actually pretty good too. I saw that one in my 20s when I was in college, and it was like, and so it was like I didn't grow up with it, so it wasn't as like, so it's like, to me it's like Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is a really good Robin Hood along with Men in Tights. And I know
that one's enjoyable, the 91 Prince of Thieves movie, and yeah, Men in Tights might not be the best Mel Brooks movie, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's a fun movie, but I mean,
and I might be shitting a bit too much on the Robin Hood 1973 movie. It had a good cast.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of
Although
those.
I do wonder how much money it cost to get country singer Roger Miller to be in there, and also write songs for the movie.
Oh, dude, they just paid him in whiskey.
I don't know. I liked it. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. Actually. It's my Robin Hood.
No, that's cool. But so I mean, that was, you pretty much are caught up. You're pretty much caught up, Tom.
I do know that. I think they announced that they were remaking Robin Hood like a couple years back, but I guess now they just simply announced it. No, it's still happening. It's still happening, and we're gonna push it through. And I don't know how the hell they're gonna
Disney,
do it.
if you're listening, just take a bunch of teenagers, make a high school musical version of it or whatever. Leave the animal bestiality bullshit out of it. Disconnect it from the original. Doesn't need to be anything more than that. Just make it a tweeny Robin Hood. Nobody will care.
Zootopia already made enough furries.
Well, actually, speaking of Zootopia, because I was going to mention this, was they actually, because Disney wasn't sure how well the film would do, they were hedging their bets as a marketing thing by trying to get the furry community behind Zootopia.
I remember that.
By like having them do a bunch of hashtags. So I mean, but it's problem is that Disney, there's no definite stars anymore. There's no like 100% bankable stars out there anymore. There's not many 100% bankable filmmakers out there outside of Tarantino.
Yeah, people that will never do a Disney remake.
Nolan. Yeah, exactly. Well, or you know, Guy Ritchie will fucking slum it, but apparently, which is weird as fuck.
That's but Christopher Nolan, he does the Dumbo 2 remake. Like, yeah, that'll never fucking happen.
I'll be honest though, the Dumbo remake was not that bad.
I'm grading on a scale here.
It actually, well, I'll be honest, I was dragged to see it because that's my girlfriend's favorite movie, and she was like all into it. And but I mean, I was glad at the fact that they didn't retell a story, and I liked the fact that they made Walt Disney basically the bad guy of that movie. Well,
the movie's basically here. We're gonna put the first 40 minutes be the original film, and then we're just gonna tack on like 90 more minutes.
But I liked the fact they basically like that Tim Burton had the stones to basically make Walt Disney a bad guy, because like Michael Keaton's character.
Well, you're giving him credit. I think that was Aaron Kruger, the writer, the guy who wrote Transformers.
Hey, I
don't. All care. I know is it must not have been that bad or that great, because I don't remember a whole hell of a lot about it.
Pretty much, it flopped. Nobody remembers it. That's about it. Like
But
5 fucking remakes came out that year.
yeah, that's true. There was like 3. It was 3 remakes: Lion King, that one,
No, there was also the one on Disney Plus.
and Aladdin.
You're forgetting oh
Lady
God,
and the
what was
Tramp.
it? Lady and the Tramp. That was it.
No, that
I can't.
came out earlier this year, didn't it?
No, that was 2019.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Lady and the
That was
Tramp.
actually a premiere film for Disney.
I was
They
gonna say,
thought
yeah,
that
it
would-
was one of the earlier ones. Yeah.
They thought that would draw the crowd.
Yeah, that was their that's what they used to bait people into going to Disney Plus. Which I don't think I honestly do. I find myself pulling my hair out of like, who on earth thought it was a good idea at Disney to make a complete streaming service entirely of their stuff. Because the thing is it only works as a thing for kids. So it would have made more sense, since they had Hulu, to use Hulu and had a section for Disney. No. I don't know. It's like,
Honestly, I've reached the point with all these remakes where I'm like, I can't even fucking keep up. I don't remember which one was announced when, with what and where, and what's coming. I can't even anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh my head off if Falcon and the Winter Soldier sucks, because they're banking, they're hedging all their bets on Mandalorian season 2 and on the Marvel superheroes stuff that's going to be on.
Like the Loki show and the oh my God,
WandaVision.
That was it. I can remember the freaking terrible.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's like they're hedging all their bets, and it's like if any of those tank, I'm willing to put money on it. I think Disney is going to be like in line to get gobbled up by some other company.
I don't know about that, but I don't. They're gonna have to have more than Mandalorian to keep their streaming service going, and I can tell you, it won't be the Beauty and the Beast prequel show, because oh my fucking God.
No, you're right.
That felt like almost a personal fuck you when I read that on my phone. I literally went like, oh God damn it, in the middle of work, and everyone thought like, what, did you drop something in your foot? It's like, no, worse.
Well, I saw that and I'm like, why on earth? It's like, no, granted, I didn't see the remake. I didn't see that stupid remake of Beauty and the Beast.
Don't.
I don't want to, because like, I'll be honest, it's like I would have seen it if they actually used practical effects for the Beast, but since they made him mocap, I was like, oh fuck you.
That was at one point they were gonna do it, but I guess they thought it was cheaper just to CGI it.
I don't know, but it's probably, well, I think from what I understand, Hollywood has been having for the past, I want to say 5 years, maybe 10 years, is that they've been having a tough time trying to find people who are good at the makeup effects and the puppets. So it's like they can find people cheaper to do computer stuff, so they just do computer stuff. But it's dumb.
Except ironically, I did the one remake where they did use a lot of practical effects and sets cost less.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like what was great about Oz the Great and Powerful was they did a combination of practical and live action, like practical stuff of like puppets and whatnot and CG, and I was like, that worked. It worked really well, but it's because like one of the biggest letdowns is when a character's holding something that's CG, since there's no weight, they can't. There's no heft to it.
Yeah, the weightlessness is always a problem.
Yeah, and what they did was in Oz Great and Powerful was they had the puppet in the hand, so they lifted it up, and they had the eye line. So,
oh yeah, they did that well. That wasn't technically a live action remake, but that was an interesting way of handling it.
Yeah, it was great. I liked.
But yeah,
I don't.
Like, I'm not a financier, but the budget of these movies just boggles my mind. Like, I think the Cinderella remake was like 90 million. That was not actually mostly CGI. That was actually a lot of sets and stuff. And then you got the Beauty and the Beast one's like 240 million, and the CGI was both everywhere and terrible quality. So I'm like, where's this money going?
Well, I've always thought is like, so I've always had I don't know how to. Hollywood's thing of spectacle is stupid. They get high on spectacle like it's a drug.
Never heard of it.
No, I haven't heard of it either. But and the thing is that like, so Godzilla King of the Monsters, it made as much money as Shin Godzilla. So when Warner Brothers was doing Godzilla King of the Monsters, they were hoping it would be as big as Shin Godzilla was in Japan, and that came out in 2016. The thing was, it made as much money. It was like one of the biggest movies in Japan. It made as much money as it cost to make Godzilla King of the Monsters. So that was like 75 million. But it cost a fraction of it. It was like 15 million. And and what they did basically was because the guy who directed Shin Godzilla directed the Attack on Titans live action movies. And while the movies are dumb, they look great. And it was basically, he used a combination of practical effects with CG. Like he used for the Titans, for like the how familiar are you with Attack on Titan, Tom?
Not really.
Okay.
I know a little bit because I had a friend who was a girl that was really big into it. So
basically, Attack on Titan is you have these weird, deformed giant people who would eat people, and they had like huge deformed mouths and eyes and face and stuff. So what basically this director did was he had the actors, and they were nude, but they didn't have any nipples or genitalia. So what the filmmaker did was that he had people in the costumes of the different Titans act them around green screen, and he used visual effects to kind of spice them up, and it worked great on a budget. And he did a very similar thing with Godzilla. Like he had a guy in a suit for Godzilla, and he had puppets and stuff, and it worked great, and people loved it. And it's like, that's really what they should have done with these Godzilla movies. It's like, you don't need a fucking CG lizard. If you had a guy in a suit and you had him act really well, you can do same thing for a fraction of the budget.
Yeah, and when you got a lower budget, you got to get more creative. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes result in a better movie.
Exactly. Well, guys, I'm gonna
before you go, I'm legitimately curious though.
Yeah.
When that freaking Mulan remake comes out, do you even think that's going to be a hit? Because I had no idea before it got pushed back, and now I'm like, I have no fucking idea.
Okay, so if Mulan is going to be successful anywhere, it's going to be successful in China. If it bombs in China, it's just going to be a complete bomb, because it's not going to. It's like, because there's been no excitement for it here. There might be excitement for it in China, but there was some controversy surrounding it because the actor who played Mulan.
You're underplaying that one. The thing is full of controversy, from we're going to cut these songs, no we're not, no it's a musical, yes it is, to the star being involved with the Hong Kong protest, and then like, oh, we're cutting the character arc because of the relationship. Now it's like, and then the virus. It's like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, that's what I was talking about more with the protests of Hong Kong and China, because it's like, more than not, you've heard, like, when I've heard from people here, is that it's like, oh, they're not going to do this. Oh, they're not going to do this. Oh, they're not going to do this. I'm not interested. So it's like, I wouldn't consider that controversy. I just consider it's like, they're not coming. You've immediately gotten rid of your audience.
Yeah, I think I read some of the reviews before it got pushed back, because there was a few advanced screenings, and the reviewers were like, it's good.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I covered it.
It seems like it's just going to be meh.
But the budget's massive, and it's not even really I almost even want to call it a Disney remake, because it seems like it's an entirely different genre. It's like an action movie. I'm curious.
Well, so it's more apparent. Apparently, from what I understand, it's more in well, I shouldn't say it's more in line there, because like Mulan, the Disney thing of Mulan was apparently pretty accurate to the fable, to the story, but just had like a couple things tweaked. And apparently this, it's like they're having even more things that are kind of tweaked, but they're trying to make it like a Chinese drama, like this Chinese soap opera drama things they have on the telly.
Well, the sad truth is, even if this flops, it won't end the remakes because they have like 30 of them in development still. When one fails, you just go, okay, we'll just adjust this and make sure we don't do that again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's bothered me is that, because my view was the only way for the film industry to kind of get back on its feet is just having Hollywood open up its floodgates and letting more independent films from filmmakers be played in, like, be played across the country. And so you can get that kind of thing of like what young people are interested in, et cetera, and lowering your budgets from some like lowering it to like at least like under 100 million. It's like if it goes over 100 million, no, you're done. But I think Hollywood's going to burn themselves out before that happens. So it's because they don't want to share. I don't know.
I mean, nobody say that my favorite films of the last couple of years are stuff that was under $100 million.
Well, I mean, it's like, well, when you look at like, there's certain things where like I can guarantee you, like Black Panther did not need to have as much CGI as it did. It did not.
That last part definitely could done with less.
Yeah. And you know what? There's certain things with Spider-Man where it's like you don't need as much. You don't need to have all those bouncing things. And it's like the problem is that you have a lot of these Marvel movies, their CG stunt doubles are looking more and more like the bad CG stunt doubles in Superman Returns and Blade 2. Mm-hmm. Because they're trying to be like, oh, we're going to make this look cool instead of like, oh, we're going to make this, good.
I think it has more to do with rushing things than anything.
Maybe I'm you
because these things are on a deadline and you have no time usually to get this shit done.
That's true. Then, well, I'm curious though, Tom. What do you think?
That's basically. I mean, as far as like,
what do you think? Do you think the film industry is beyond saving, or do you think there's something?
No, I mean. It always hits like these little renaissances every once in a while, every few years. Something will come along that'll spark people's interest again. I mean, we've kind of just hit a plateau with, the whole Endgame and all that business and Star Wars and all that stuff. And then we're coming off of that now. So it might be a quiet time period for a little bit. I mean, there's a few things to look forward to. But I mean, as far as genre entertainment goes, it's hard to say what the future is going to bring here yet, other than what we know in the immediate future. As far as down the road, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I've said it before. I don't understand how Hollywood hasn't been picking up on the future of filmmaking on YouTube, like all these fan films and all these talented people who can make shit in their backyards that looks just as good almost as some of the stuff on screen. It's time to reevaluate what you're doing when what you're doing doesn't work anymore because nobody wants to go see your junk movies. I mean, not everything I think is garbage. There's plenty of great stuff out there yet. It's just a matter of Hollywood relying less on sequels and blockbusters and more on a little bit more on talent.
Okay.
And original entertainment.
Okay. Oh, hey, because I know I posted the article from Variety when I saw it onto the Midnight's Ed page. Did you see that article I put up about Cinemark trying to sell some of their I forget what it's called. There was a weird term they used to describe it, but basically they're selling some like parts of their company to get money.
I seen some, but they're not the only ones. There's a lot of companies right now that got to do their best to save face and pay their employees, and
Yeah.
a lot of these companies are going to get bailed out in phase 2 anyway. I just hope they actually use the money what they're supposed to use it for instead of going and buying all their stock back and doing a bunch of bullshit like they normally do. I've never been too worried about the big corporations. Pretty much anything that is like a corporation or a franchise is probably all right. It's little mom and pop shops and stores and theaters and other venues that are going to be in trouble the most, probably.
Well, the reason why I was kind of curious about what you thought about it, and like, was just because of the fact is that like even if the big ones are going down, then that's kind of saying something. That's kind of like it's
well,
like,
I don't think that the bigger ones are nearly in as much trouble as like AMC's in trouble more so just because of its dealings in the background than it is because it was in trouble before this. Yeah, that's the thing is most of these businesses that are in trouble before this went down are the ones that are struggling the most right now.
Right. What do you think, Tyler? I'm sorry, I'm leaving you out. What do you?
No, that's okay. And I agree basically with Tom on this. That these smaller chains are the ones that are far more trouble. Like I don't know how local this chain is, but like film wise, I usually go to like a Marcus Cinema, and I think those are not doing too well at the moment because of the virus. Yes, Cat, shut up.
But yeah, basically, as long as a company's big enough and they have stuff to sell off and stocks and other things to, I mean, that's just it. If anything, this whole thing showed how ill-prepared a lot of these businesses were, how too many people at the top are getting paid way too much, especially when you see some of the CEOs' salaries could pay the entire, lower level employees for the rest of the year. You got to start to question how your business is being ran. You got to run with some kind of windfall to where if something like this does happen, you can take care of your employees. But like I said, what's going to end up happening a lot of this shit, honestly, you want to know what I think is going to come of this, especially if it lasts much longer than we're prepared to have it last? A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. All these companies are going to get bailed out. They're going to buy back a bunch of their stock dividends, like I said.
I'm almost done.
They're going to do all that kind of crap, bail themselves out and do all that kind of stuff to get out of the hole. And then when everything's all said and done, they'll just hire a bunch of new people at low level prices. And, all the people that put years and years and years of work into some of these businesses will be screwed over is what's going to happen. Hopefully it won't affect too many people though in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like you got the wifey there trying to call you in to the house probably. I'm gonna have to run pretty soon anyway, so
no worries.
You got a wife and I got a cat that's bothering me.
Yeah. Sorry guys. I think we'll close off. Thank you very much to all my guests for coming. Tyler, Tom, Kiki Candy, and Mary Mayhem.
All right. We can't hear you. You muted yourself. Oh, he muted himself.
Darn it.
Or he accidentally pulled his cord out. I think that's what he's been doing.
The wife just pulled the cord.
No, whatever you did, you can't hear you, man. So for Willie, we want to say good night and have a great night.
So long. Farewell.
Good night.